Ok,
¿Ya?
pero espérate a que se empiece a conectar gente.
Pues estoy en el foto.
Estoy en la foto.
Sí, o sea.
Ahorita me... La primera que se va a conectar va a ser María. Sí, es. Yo lo voy a ver de aquí.
Con nosotros. Bueno. Yeah, just look at this pretty face.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to this webinar for day 2 for the next semester of spring 2019. And my name is Maria Angelica or Marianne or whatever. We hope you're super ready to come to Mexico. And today we're going to talk about the different internships we have. And because most of you are coming for it and taking classes at the same time. So for the ones that didn't know, we have 3 types of internships with a company, and it depends on how much time you will spend with the company and how many courses will you take as a complementation for it. And even when you are full-time at the company, you can take an Spanish course for improving your level. And the company that they assign to your internship, it's done by matching your profile and your major, so you can have the best experience. And also we have social internships, that it's where you work with an association here in Querétaro, and you can help with different things as a good thing that you are doing as a citizen. And what else? I don't know if anyone has any doubts if they are doing internships or if I can solve anything for you.
What do you tell them about?
How do I sign up is the first question. And you need to be nominated by your school, by your university, if they have an agreement with Tec de Monterrey. If not, you can apply as an independent student, and you can apply in our official website. That if you Google, I will type it in the chat. IPO Landing. It's the first website that shows up. And there you can see all the offer we have and apply directly to the internship. The second question, how can I get 15 ECTS? What course do I need to choose? The 15 ECTS, you can have it with the internship and then with a course. And you need to choose a course that it's according to what are you doing, internship, thesis, or so, and also the classes that you are taking. And what else? Yeah. So,
Don't tell me them.
for
No.
those that are wondering what would be Mexico like, we have a very special guest. He's from Ireland.
Don't you start that again. No
What?
more Ed Sheeran. No more Ernest Hemingway.
No.
Yeah.
And here we have Jonathan Stokes. Please.
Hello.
Hello, Jonathan. Can you tell us about
Mexico
and your experience here and what you do at the International Programs Office?
Okay, so basically I came here in August and this was my first semester here, and I'm here until June. And so for my first semester, what I was doing was I was basically like an international rep, and I was just helping out in the office with general things like events and kind of helping organizing trips and a couple of other things like housing payments and stuff like that. And then next semester I'm going to be doing an internship with the IPO, so you'll be seeing loads of me. And I don't know. So I guess I'll start talking about Mexico, will I? You know, please. You're the talk show host here. You're supposed to kind of prompt me.
What would you like? Does your perception of Mexico change before you came? Like after you came, sorry.
Okay, so I guess in the news in Europe in general, I feel that it's kind of very aimed towards like drugs and how dangerous it is in Mexico. And then I guess that hasn't really been my experience here at all, because nothing really negative. I wouldn't associate anything negative. I mean, the people are very nice in general, and then I don't know. I haven't had any like problems since I arrived in Mexico, and I've traveled a lot since I got here. I mean, Querétaro is the second safest city in Mexico, apparently. I don't know, because I already haven't had any problems, so I can't say. But I've been to 11 states in the 4 months I've been here, and I haven't had any problems. I mean, this semester we had the Semana E, but next semester we'll have the week off for spring break. And basically that's a week where you're going to be able to travel and stuff. And it's a really, really good opportunity to see a lot of Mexico. And apart from that, I mean, most weekends you kind of go traveling with your friends when you're here. So, I mean, I've gone down to Guadalajara and down to Oaxaca with the IPO. And they kind of organize other trips. For example, they've got the Huasteca trip that's coming up this semester, as well as the Teotihuacan, which are both really, really cool. I did the Teotihuacan trip this semester already, but the Huasteca is especially for like the spring semester. And it's a really, really cool trip from what I hear. It's in Luis Santa Posi, no? Or
San Luis Potosí.
more or less. And I don't know. What else to say?
What do you like most about the campus?
The campus?
Yes. Or yeah, and did you take cultural or sport classes during the semester?
So yeah, I did some sports classes and some culture classes as well, because basically I came to Mexico and I was like, what's the one thing I should learn from Mexico? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn how to dance. That didn't really work out, but I tried. It was interesting, but it was a lot of fun actually. So they have like lots of different cultural classes. For example, Bailes Latinos, which is what I did, and it was like a mix of kind of cumbia, salsa, and bachata. And you're in with Mexican students there. Some teachers are like speak Spanish, but most of them speak English as well, so they can kind of help you along there too. And then for sports classes, I did table tennis and something else, but I can't remember. And there's loads of them. I mean, I'm really into rock climbing, so there's a rock climbing wall on campus as well, which it's actually not that advertised, but it's kind of cool. And they've got classes for that, as well as that there's like lots of facilities kind of around by campus as well, not necessarily on campus, for rock climbing and stuff like that too. But yeah, I think it was really cool, and it was a good way to meet people like outside of the international group, because sometimes I feel that some of the internationals kind of get stuck in their, with the internationals, and then if you really want to like experience the culture more, you kind of want to talk to more Mexicans or kind of get a bit more integrated with the people. So yeah, that's kind of my experience anyway.
Okay, and what would be your advice for all these guys that are coming next semester?
That was very vague. Very vague.
Like the best advice, I don't know, in student life or daily life in Mexico. Like what should
gusanos.
They do?
Gusanos, very important. Gusanos. You have to try a gusano when you get here. It's the most important thing. I think it's typical to Querétaro. I'm not sure because I haven't found it anywhere else. It's basically like I don't know how to say it. It's like a wrap.
Huge taco.
It's like a wrap. It's like a huge taco, but it's really nice. And you should definitely try them because they're awesome. And tacos, just food in general. It's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're continuing to the questions.
Yes.
And if you would help me to
answer them,
I'll
try.
As you're like almost Mexican.
Have you seen me?
I mean, of course.
Not quite.
Okay, so Ellie asked, can you join sport classes without attendance being mandatory? First, no, because they will appear in your final transcript, and even though they don't count like for your final average in grades, they will count as a class you took here. But if you want to take a lot of sport classes, you can get a sport passport where you need 30 signatures for the whole semester, and you can take the different sport classes we have. For example, 1 week or 1 day, you can go to the gym, or then volleyball, football, tennis, whatever you like, and you would like to take that day.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it yesterday, but also you have to do the fitness exam at the start and the end of that. So it kind of shows you how you've kind of improved over your time here.
Yeah.
So it's like to show a track of it, I guess, as well.
Yes, it has like little.
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain it.
In Español, okay.
No, on the back you have different things you have to do. So in a certain period of time, you know how much you have improved your skills. And when we can sign up to sport or cultural classes. On the next days, we will send you
You have your timetable for your interviews, your Skype interviews.
Yes.
And during your Skype interviews, usually we'll send you, I'm not sure if you have the list of classes yet or not, but basically we'll send that out before your Skype interview. And during your Skype interview, you can kind of tell us what you would like to do, and we can try and fit it around your schedule. So whatever classes you're taking, we'll show you your schedule. And then you can try and basically place in what classes you want to do. Like if you wanted to do, for example, football, or if you want to do rock climbing, or if you want to do table tennis, or even bailes latinos or guitar, you can kind of fit it in around the times that your classes are, which isn't too difficult, because usually if you're only taking 20 or 25 ECTs, you still have like a fair enough time, like still to put in classes.
Yes.
So I don't think it'd be a problem. Like,
no, you will get that list soon, and just when we have the Skype meeting for your final schedule, we can check which ones are available and which ones fit your schedule, because you can't change them for academic classes. But we will make the best effort to hope to enroll you in all the classes that you want. Is it the same for cultural classes, that they don't affect your average score grade? Yes. Cultural and sport classes don't affect your average, but they will appear on your final transcript. And the sport passport only works for sport classes, and cultural classes you need to sign up, and they will have a limit of absences as well as the other classes. Will you send my final schedule to my email? Yes, after we have the Skype meeting and we have like all the needs you require and your university needs you to have here, all the exact amount of credits, we will send it to you so you can have it before arriving. How many ECTS are the cultural and sport classes? It's possible to exceed.
So the cultural and sports classes wouldn't actually count as ECTs. They're like an additional thing that would be separate.
Yeah.
So basically you have your normal classes. So for example, economics classes or something like that. And those would be your ECTs. The sports classes, while they'd show up in your transcript, you get like a diploma at the end of the semester. It wouldn't count specifically for ECTs. It's just a kind of like an additional class that you're doing. And the diploma at the end of it is what your benefit from that would be for. Come on, like, if you're doing table tennis, for example, again, you'd get the diploma at the end. It's like, look, this is kind of what I've achieved in this semester, and it'll show in the transcript again.
Yeah, they don't have credits, but they will appear in your final transcript, and also you will get a grade for it. So here at Tech, it's really important to say that from like the whole grade, it's out of 100, but if you get less than 70, you will fail the class, even though it's sport, cultural, or an academic course.
I will mention though that the tests are kind of different to Europe anyway. I'm not sure about America, but for Europe, and it's a lot more kind of multiple choice here. So like in the pass rate in Ireland was 40, and then I came here and the pass rate was 70, and I was like, oh no, that's going to be like impossible to get. But it's just a different marking scheme and everything, so it's not like it's impossible to get. So I wouldn't be worried about that if that's the thing you're worrying about at the moment. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay. The other question, what is the host family program about? For the ones that didn't know, or yeah, we have a host family program that it's one of the options we have for housing. And each student makes an application and we will match them with the different host families we have so they can get the real Mexican experience like from inside. And also if you're vegetarian or allergic to something, we can try to match you with a family that will really take care of you with that. And it's really nice because you improve your Spanish level. You may get other roomies that are also studying here, so that's like really cool. And the host families are just really, really, really nice. We have been with like
Some for ages.
working with them for a lot of years, and they're always so excited to receive you guys.
When I got here, actually, I was walking in the center with some of my friends, just like exploring Querétaro because it was my first week, and we ran into another friend of mine now, and I was talking to the host mom, and she's been working with tech for 18 years. So it's kind of like it's a passion for some of the families now at the time. Like they really, really enjoy it. And I mean, this person was vegetarian or vegan, I'm actually not sure, but one of the two. And basically she was like, with all the dietary requirements and everything, she like the host family was helping out with that as well. So it was really, really good.
Deadline next week for host families. Do you know?
The deadline for host families?
Send an email to Mariana.
Okay. Sorry guys, but Mariana Vieira is in charge of assigning the host families. So you can send her an email and she will answer all your questions regarding that. Jonathan, are you in a host family?
No, not quite. I'm actually living off campus, but I'm living, it's kind of like a host family, but it's not. It's a weird situation because I'm going to be doing an internship with the IPO. They have like a house, and basically I'm in with that house. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. But I know that a lot, like the majority of people that I know were living both in, like, it was either host family or they were living off campus. I didn't know many who were living actually on campus, but
No.
yeah. So I mean, I definitely say that the host family is a really good choice, but living off campus is too. What I would just say is if you're living off campus, that it's definitely, you should be kind of careful. Like, don't be putting down a deposit before you've seen the house, because I know, like, a lot of my friends here who came, they arrived, they put down deposit with like certain organizations beforehand, and then they arrived and the house just wasn't as described, and then they had to kind of fight to get back their deposit. So what I would definitely say is that if you are going to come and, like, I know a lot of people who kind of came and spent a week maybe in a hostel or anything beforehand and just found the house while they were here. But I know that there is also the housing thing on IPO Landing, and we have the different, like, there's another, like, lots of houses that are on there, and I think that'd be like a really good place to start looking for a house if you haven't already. And I don't know, because I didn't personally look for the house, so I don't know if I can say much more about it. But
at this blog that Jonathan is talking about, we have the different options that we get from a student here in campus that are like, they live here, but their parents live in another part of Mexico or even another country. So they have rooms available for anyone that would like to be the roomie. And they are people from here or just people that we know that can that have houses, like complete houses. Is that okay? Or just some rooms available. That it's another option. You can look for them at the blog. And we have also residence hall, but it gets full like super fast. You can apply to it, but it depends on the availability because Mexican students also live there.
Mhm.
And
Also,
what
there
else?
was people like, I mean, I know a lot of people from this semester who, like, some of my friends as well, were also sharing things on kind of the spring 2019 page on Facebook as well. So that might be another place where you might be able to look for some of the housing. Jamie. Jaime. No,
Hi
No.
guys.
I'm not
So
Mexican.
our Spanish and
Iñaki, oh my god.
Iñaki, Yone, Blanca, hola. Es nuestra gente de el País Vasco y de España que estuvieron este semestre con nosotros. Say hi, Majo. And what else? You have another question? Would you like to say something, guys, from the other part of the world and that are now in Baja California?
I think he's saying hello. No.
No, just hello. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you have any more questions, guys. If we can help you, please do. Now it's like the best time because we are live. And what else? What about credit cards? Would you like to talk about that? You know, like a really good method.
Well, I mean, when I came here, basically my credit card, like in Ireland, what they did is the bank used to charge quite a lot. If it was like any transaction fees, they used to charge like €3 or €4 if I came over with the card. So what I did is I set up an account with Revolut, which is an app. It's like an online app that you can get on the Play Store or with the Apple's App Store too on Apple. And basically, it's just like an online bank. It's kind of easy to top up. And what I used to do, what I do is that I kind of transfer over money just to that account, to the Revolut account every month, so that first of all, Revolut doesn't have the charges when you're taking out money from the bank or from the ATMs, so it's cheaper. And then also, what I did is like thought it was kind of safer too, because I didn't really know what to expect when I first came here. So I was like, well, if I get robbed, at least then I'm only going to lose like this much money. I'm not going to lose a lot. And so, yeah, I just thought it was like a good way to like save money, because genuinely I would have been paying €3 or €4 for every kind of withdrawal from the ATM. Also, it's worth mentioning that like when you do withdraw money from the ATM here, unless you have a bank, like unless you're with Santander or whichever like ATM you're taking it from, there is a small charge that they charge you. Like I think it's roughly like 30 or 25 pesos every time that you withdraw money from the ATM. So I don't know like what you want to do with that. I mean, you can take it as you wish. If you want to take lots of money out and then kind of keep it at home, or if you just want to take it out every so often, that's up to you. But just said it was worth mentioning.
Or pay the most things that you can with the credit card. And I think like in those transactions, they don't charge you with an extra fee.
But what I would also mention is that a lot of places in Mexico don't accept credit card, because a lot of it is in cash. I mean, a majority do, but I mean, a lot of the smaller places wouldn't have the credit card machines like in Europe. So I would definitely have some cash on you, because I mean, before I came here, like, tap with the card was just what I used always. And then when I came out here, I needed to have the kind of cash on me so that I could pay for things as well. So just to mention it.
Yes, thank you. So if I arrive to Mexico City's airport, how can I get to Querétaro? So Querétaro is like 2 to 3 hours from Mexico City, and you can take a bus right from the airport, they will take you to the bus station to Querétaro. It's with Primera Plus company. I will write it on the chat. And you don't have to leave the airport to take this bus. You can take it like from the bus station of the airport, and it's around 400 pesos. Yeah.
Can take it, but yeah.
And it's super safe. They are super comfortable,
Mhm.
and they will take you to the bus station, and from there you can take an Uber to the city center or to your house, or
Or if you
which
do,
whatever place you would like to.
I mean, definitely advising you to use Uber. But I mean, if you like, I mean, I know when I arrived here, my Uber didn't work straight away. It kind of, I don't know if it was just the fact that it was the card or something or what, but basically, I know that some people have issues using Uber when they first arrive. So if you do need to take a taxi, don't be a tourist and get scammed, basically. So I mean, from the airport, I mean, I wouldn't
Yes.
think. I know somebody paid like 600 pesos from the airport before. So
Oh my God.
basically, when people arrive here, they're not used to the exchange rate, and 600 pesos is a lot to pay for
Yes.
like a. So what I would do if I were you is I would talk to the driver beforehand if you have that Spanish, and just kind of arrange a price before you get into the taxi and be like, this is how much I'm going to pay to go here. And if the price is too high, go to another taxi, basically.
Yes. Actually, Uber is like the safest transportation method.
Yeah.
And also is really cheap compared to other countries. And it really works like in a lot of
Mhm.
states here in Mexico. So it's a really good option.
Also, if you are kind of worried about using the taxis there, because I know that was another thing that, some of, like when you're arriving here, is that you hear that some of the taxis aren't safe, and that is true. So what we have is Tech has an agreement with one of the taxi services, and it's called Taxi Seguros, basically.
Yes.
So safe taxis. And we have the number for that somewhere, which I'm sure we can put into the chat at some point.
Yeah.
But basically, that would be another really good option if your Uber isn't working when you arrive, that you could call that number instead, and they could pick you up from the airport. I arrived in Querétaro, so I had the lucky option of being collected by Nacho here. But but for those who are not so lucky as me, with my favorite Nacho, then definitely Uber would be the way to go if I were you guys.
Okay. So, are there trips organized by the International Programs Office? Yes, we have 2 official trips. One is to Teotihuacan, the Aztec pyramids, and that one is on January 26th. And the second one is to La Huasteca, that, as Jonathan said,
Earlier.
it's in San Luis Potosí, and it's like an eco trip with waterfalls and some
And it's like we go rafting and stuff like that, and
Those things.
it's really cool.
And that one would be on the first day, like from the 1st to the 3rd day of March, and it's really nice and really cool trip, as every trip we organize.
Mhm.
Is it also we have a student group that is called AMI, and they also organize trips for you guys. They have 3 trips throughout the semester, and they are San Miguel, that it's a magic
It's
town.
Yeah, it's Pueblo Mágico, which is basically like the government gives it a special status, basically as a tourist town, kind of. I don't know, that's how I describe it, but yeah, it's basically a touristy town where it's what they advise to see because it's like very kind of visually beautiful or something like that, I guess, along those lines.
And that one is on
13th of January.
12th of January.
12th?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's really close to Querétaro. The other one is Peña de Bernal, that it's also a magic town.
Pueblo Mágico.
Yeah. And it's we have the third
Just go and
biggest
see.
monolith, and you have to see it. It's really amazing, and the food is really good there. We will go there 9 and 10 of March, and then Six Flags, the amusement park. It's April 27th. So soon you
That's
will
so
get
funny.
all the information if you would like to register like before coming, and so you can have a place for all these trips.
And Six Flags is like the amusement park, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Is it mandatory to go to the orientation day? Yes, it's super important for you guys to be here because there you will get all the information about grades. If you have any doubt about your insurance, our legal advisor will be here. So if you have like any doubt with your house contract or migration forms, visa, and whatever, he can help you. We will give information about tech. You will have a campus tour.
Campus
sorry.
tour. Yeah.
And yeah, it's super important. It's super cool because you will meet all the IPO, the International Program Office team. You will meet the other students, and it's like the official day to the best day to get to know each other.
Mhm.
Do people in Mexico have a lot of money with them, or do they pay with credit card? I think a lot of people have a credit card because you can pay with it in a lot of places, but it's also like really important and a good idea to have some cash with you. So in case of any problem or issue or whatever, you can pay it with cash, and
Yeah.
they will obviously accept it.
As I was saying earlier, not everybody has the kind of
Yes.
the card machines. So the smaller places where I'd eat a lot wouldn't have the card machines, so you pay with cash there. And yeah, I think that leads on to the other question about how much. to spend.
Are you students on campus? Yes, I'm a marketing and communications student. I'm in 5th semester, and I have like kind of an internship here at the International Programs Office. And Jonathan is staying for a whole year as an international student.
Mhm.
So he's
And I'm doing
also
commerce
doing
and
an
Spanish
internship.
as my degree.
Mhm. Is there a bank on campus? Yes, we have a bank that it's called Santander, and we have
3 ATMs or 4 ATMs. I'm not sure.
Four?
I think it's
3.
4. Well, there's 3 there and then one over in by the bank as well. So I think it's 4.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
3.
3?
One at the bank and 2 at building 4. We have Santander and HSBC.
One of those.
And you can take money from there. If not, there are a lot of banks around campus, so it's like really easy to take money out from them.
It's also kind of one of the safer places because I know that while like it is relatively safe, when you're taking out money, I would always kind of advise you to take it out on campus just because why take the risk? But yeah, I don't know anybody who's actually had a problem taking out money other places, but it's definitely probably the better option, what I'd say.
To have it in campus. How much money do you spend a month? Can you answer that as an international student?
Kind of. So it kind of depends. I think when I first came here, I had roughly just like excluding like rent, just food and stuff and travel. I think originally I had a budget around 450 euro, and I think I could, like, if I tried, I could probably stay within that. I think 500 is kind of more realistic because you do quite a bit of traveling, and it's just nice to be able to travel every weekend and stuff. So I would say about 500 euro would be what I would set as like a good level for a budget if I was you. I eat out quite a lot, so it's not. If I wanted to, if I ate in the house a lot, the host families, they provide food for you, So I mean, you could literally just go home for dinner every day and you'd be saving yourself so much money. But I know that you kind of end up going out with your friends a lot, and it's a lot different. So it's just, I don't know, it's just really easy to go out, and you kind of get into the habit of it fairly easily. So I would definitely say 500. And then for the spring break, which you guys will have for the week off, I would throw in a couple hundred extra euro there because you're going to be doing a lot of traveling.
Okay. Is there an official calendar? Sorry. Yes, we have it at the official website, and we will also post it on the Facebook group. You will get it like a hard copy on the orientation day, so you can have all the important dates really scheduled.
Yeah. So you'll see what like dates will have the official arrival date, which is the 8th. And then you'd also have kind of the dates for spring break, I believe, in there. I'm not sure. But
yes.
you'd also have a couple other important dates, such as like the official leaving date and other things like that. Apart from that, I'm not actually sure what it includes because I don't use it much. But in the orientation day, you would also get a lot of other cool stuff. Like, well, you'll see if you go, but you should definitely go.
Yeah. It's the official calendar with all the important dates. And if you're wondering about the exam dates, it depends, like the partial exams will depend on the professor and the different topics they are teaching. But the final exams will be, like the dates will be given to you like half the semester, like through half the semester, and because they are assigned by our central offices, so teachers don't have like a opinion there, so those can't be changed. And even partials, you have to talk to teacher if you would like to change it, but most teachers don't.
Would you mention the faltas as well, or no?
If you would like to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
really important. But
so basically, timekeeping, like getting here on time, is kind of important in Tec de Monterrey, because if you're able to arrive like 5 minutes after the hour, and then if you arrive after that time, it basically counts as if you're absent. And you only have a certain number of absences that you're allowed every semester, or else you're going to fail the class, basically. So, for example, I think it's 3 weeks worth of classes or 2 weeks worth of classes.
3.
So basically, if you had 2 classes per week, then you'd be allowed 6 absences, because it'd be 2, 2, and 2 for 3 weeks of classes. And then if you, for example, for Spanish, I think you have 4 or 5 classes a week.
Yes.
So then you'd be allowed like 4 classes, it'd be 12 absences. And yeah, basically just don't be late for class, because I do know people who have failed because they had too many absences, and you automatically fail your course. So if you only failed the one course, I'll mention, like that class, it won't affect the rest of your classes. If you only had 2 absences of the 3 absences in that other class, then you'd still be fine for the other class. But if you have like too many in the one class, you will fail that class.
Where do you recommend to look for an apartment? Like talking about the sites, like internet websites in the blog, and also some of you guys already posted in the Facebook group options. And if you would like to live together, in the blog we have different options that are really close to campus, and some of them are just available rooms, others are complete houses. So if you would like to live with other friends, or just arrive and then see who your roomie would be. Can you tell me more about AMI? Yes, as I said, it's a student association or group here, and it's actually Amigos Mexicanos e Internacionales. And we organize trips. We also help at the IPO, so you will be seeing us around a lot. And it's like really important because we, how do you say, we do our best for you to
It's
to improve your experience here. And
Yeah, basically it's like a society. So it'd be a society for just for international students. And yeah, they organize a lot of trips and they organize a lot of events on campus, which you can kind of participate in. And
without profit.
it's well, without profit, yeah, for the international students.
Yeah.
And they basically give it to you at cost. So I think a lot of them are well worth seeing. I think as I said before, they have the 3 trips to Peña del Bernal and the San Miguel, as well as Six Flags, which they did this semester as well, which were really, really cool. And then they do other trips. For example, this semester there was a trip to a football match. So it was Chile versus Mexico. Unfortunately, Mexico lost, but that wasn't important. It was a really good experience still. And everybody really enjoyed it. So
Yeah, and AMI also has a buddy program where you can make like an application, and we will match you with a Mexican student so they can help you to adapt to campus or to know more places in Querétaro. You can go to different places around Querétaro with them, and we will match you with them according to your interest, or if you would like to improve your Spanish, or if you like something specific, I don't know, sport, or if you have any hobby, maybe match you with someone that has the same interest, so you can have a Mexican friend like right away when you come here. In terms of packing my suitcase, do I need a lot of formal clothes, or are there events where suits are required?
So there is the closing ceremony, which would be the main event where you'd have to wear formal clothes. In terms of other ones, I wouldn't say there's a lot of events where you need to wear formal clothes, but at the same time, I know that you definitely would need to bring something for the closing ceremony because it is quite a formal event. I mean, I wore a suit there, and I'm not a very fancy person normally, so yeah.
And for some classes, like for the presentations or projects, teachers will ask you to wear a formal outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to bring a lot of formal clothes, but just some of them for these presentations and for the closing ceremony.
I would also just mention, well, 90% of the time, it's really, really warm here. I would still bring a jumper or 2 just in case it gets cold, because there is the odd cold day as well. And maybe a coat, because I know it's a dry country, but it does rain. And when it rains, it pours. So definitely bring a coat as well.
Yeah. So that would be, what about the weather in Querétaro? Sometimes it's a really cool weather, like warm, but not that.
Yeah, it's like ideal, kind of like not too warm, so you're able to walk outside, but at the same time, it's like cool. Nice, I don't have my tan yet, but I'm hoping that's next semester.
However, sometimes it's like crazy, and like at the morning, it's super cold for Mexicans, like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, it's super warm, and then again in the night, it's super cold and it rains. So just a coat, it's a really good idea. What else? Maybe
also,
like
you customize to the weather
scarf.
too.
What?
You customize to the weather too. So, for example, I came from Ireland where the weather is pretty cold. And then I came out here and I saw the people wearing like jeans and like hoodies out in like 25 degrees. And I was like, these guys are crazy. And I was out in my shorts and my t-shirt for the first 2 months. And then afterwards, I kind of got used to the weather, so I was out in my jumper and my pants, and yeah, so you do get used to it. So I would just bring, normal clothes as well as your shorts and your t-shirts. So,
how much is the rent for off-campus apartments? It really depends because, like, of how big they are, and some of them include services. And like electricity, Wi-Fi, water,
all of them, heating,
all of
stuff,
them.
yeah.
So it really depends, but I don't know, maybe like
I think
I don't
anywhere,
want to give you false information.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen really, really cheap places, but I don't know if they're the best. From like, I don't know, 3,500 to
Yeah.
about 6,000 pesos is what I would say is the kind of range from what I've seen, really. But again, I'm not renting, so don't take my word for it. But that would be roughly what I would see. I mean, the average from what I've seen would be about 4,500 or 5,000 pesos. No.
Yeah, at least for the apartments like close to campus.
Yeah.
Is there a lawyer on campus? Not on campus, but we have one that works
With
and
us, yeah.
with us at the International Programs Office. He helps us with all the visas and migration issues with the students. And also he can help you with the housing contracts. We don't like have any responsibility with those housing contracts you make, but he can help you like to
Check that
check
everything's
it
in
that
order.
everything is right, that it will be a
So
good
that they don't
agreement.
make you getting like this, so that you don't feel like you're going to get charged more later, like so that they don't increase the price at a later time. So if like, so in the contract normally it includes like how much for utilities and everything it's going to include, and if that's not included, then they might charge you more for the utilities, and you might not be expecting that, so they might push it up like towards the end, and you're tied into that contract usually for the 6 months that you're here, or for the year, depending.
Yeah.
So it would generally be a really good idea to get it checked before you sign any contract, and just say, look, I'm going to get it checked by my lawyer with tech, and then usually they're quite understanding because it is a legal document. So.
And as he's helping the International Programs Office, you don't have to pay anything for his help. And you can like send him the contract, well, send us, and we'll forward it to him, the contract, so he can check it, and you can make the best decision for your housing.
Mm-hmm. Also, just because I know you're talking about visas,
Yes.
is that when you arrive, you get this FMM card. It's like a piece of paper that you have to sign when you arrive in the plane. And it's really, really important that you don't lose that, because it can kind of cause a lot of hassle and you're going to have to spend a lot of time with the lawyer. I don't actually know anybody who did lose it, but all I know is that it can cause a lot of hassle. So if you're not going for like the student visa, which would be if you're staying for a year, then definitely make sure that you hold on to that or put it in a safe place once you arrive.
Yeah, and it's really important to keep it with you, because for the trips that are outside from Querétaro, you will have to, no.
Yeah, you kind
for
of have
all
to
the
bring,
trips, you will have to take it, as well as your passport, because in some cases, the police will stop the bus and check like the people inside, and you will need your migration form. And so it's super important to keep it with your stuff. What about transportation other than Uber? So as Jonathan said earlier, we have a taxi service here at Tech. It's like the drivers are checked by Tech, and they are super safe. You can have it here in one of the entrances of the campus, or you will get the number and you can call them to pick you up wherever you are. And they have like a normal price. Maybe sometimes they will charge a little bit more because of the distance. And also we have a public bus
it's like a
system, and it's like for like
I
4
don't know,
pesos.
I don't know actually, but
How much? How do you know?
4 or 5.
4 or
Like
5 pesos.
4 or 5 pesos per ride, and you will need to get a card, because some of them can only be paid with that special card. Others also with cash.
There's
And
also a tech bus system, which
Oh, yeah.
I didn't actually know was here until about halfway through the semester. But basically, it runs at night. So I'm not sure if you know yet, but basically classes can run from 7 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night. And if you're finishing at 10 p.m. at night, it's like more advisable, like if you're living far enough away from campus, that you take a this tech bus or you take an Uber or something home, just to be safe. And the tech bus has 3 routes, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else to say. I think it's free anyway, and I think you just need your
It's-
student ID. to
Yeah,
get on.
it's free for tech students, and they will take you to different
Places. There's like a
places
lot of stops on
around
the way back.
campus. So it's like really good idea to take it, especially if you
Mhm.
leave the campus at night. And also, well, the public transportation, we have a bus that goes around the city. They can take you to the city center, and we also have like a new bike system, and we have different stops or stations around some parts of the city, and you can also take
Oh,
with a special card.
bicicleta.
It's called Crobici, and you can take a bike and then leave it like in the closest stop from your destination. Yeah. Will there be some international evening where we should prepare food or bring traditional clothes? Should I bring my dirndl? With Ami? I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe we have like a lot. They have other events set up, so I don't think we've got one set up about bringing like traditional clothes from all the countries, but
Maybe
we
cook
could set it up,
something from your country and share it with all other Mexican and international students that are like involved in the event.
But as of yet, we haven't really set up any event like that yet. But we could do it yet. I mean, we still have a little time to do that
Sure.
whole semester,
That
so
would be nice.
we'll try and do that for you.
Julian, where did you learn those dance moves? So lit. I think
So
that's you.
basically, what happened was that I arrived last semester, and they basically told me I was the international rep, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And what they didn't tell me was that orientation day, I was going to have to dance on stage, and I had to dance in front of 250 international students, and yeah, Julian
how
just
they
really,
get to know
really
you.
appreciated. I was the most known person on campus for about I don't know how long.
Okay, so we have a few minutes left. If you have any more doubts or if we can help you with anything else, guys, please do so. It's way easier right now than through email or any other contact method. Or
Anything else?
would you like to add anything else
I'm just trying to think. I don't
as
know.
an Irish boy in Mexico?
Well, they thought that Ed Sheeran was from Ireland, and they were sadly mistaken. They put on Galway Girl from like Ed Sheeran on stage when they made me dance, and it was embarrassing on their part, not my part, on their part. Okay, ID cards.
What about ID cards, student IDs? You will get a student ID when you get here because you have to take a picture for it, and that would be on the orientation day and the day, like on both orientation day, so you can have access to the campus and also to the different like buildings.
Yeah.
Because for the library building you will need it to enter, and also for the gym you will need it because we have
And
like
campus in general.
everything.
Um,
And also for having books from the library you will need to show it, and for different things you will need to show it, so it's really important to have one. Don't worry, we will manage that for you. You just need to take the picture. And if you arrive like before the orientation day to campus,
you can show up with the
you need to show an official ID and tell the guards at the entrance that you're coming to the international programs office. Please, Jonathan, show us your best move.
I'm good, thanks. You're gonna have to wait until orientation for that one.
Do we need to bring passport pictures for something?
No.
I think the only thing that you could possibly need that is that if you're getting the if you're doing the visa for the students, like the student visa, when you're here, you might have to like get more photos taken if you're kind of, because with the lawyer, they basically ask you for some photos to actually do the application here to actually receive your student visa.
Yes.
I know that I actually sent photos before and then they got lost and I had to take more photos. But so if you want to bring some, I actually think it's probably cheaper to get them done here, because I think it was like 200 pesos for me or even less. So what I would advise is if you want to get them done beforehand, you can, but at the same time, you can get them done equally as easy here because there's a place literally right next to Tech that you can get them done at. So it wouldn't be anything I'd be worrying about if I were you.
Yeah. But I think like for campus documents, you don't actually need one. For the ID, they will take it here, those pictures, so don't worry about it.
The only other thing I would mention, it's about things you'd probably bring, is that the adapter. I didn't think about this until like 2 days before I was going, and I was like, oh, how am I going to charge my phone? So yeah, they have the same as the US kind of style charging point. So I would basically get some type of adapter. The IPO does actually provide you with one adapter when you arrive at the orientation day. I think they still do that.
Yes.
It'd be really awkward if they didn't. But yeah, so you get one adapter there. But I mean, I had my iPad, my computer, and my phone, so one didn't really do. So I would bring one or two with you as well. Yeah.
Okay. And best place to get a haircut. This hairstyle is like, whoa.
Yeah,
Where
I
did
know.
you get it?
I know, it's so impressive. So there's a couple places. Again, I guess it's kind of a personal choice, but I know that there was, personally, I go to Beards. So there's a shopping center kind of close to my house, but it's called Bolivares. And Bolivares is kind of like, it's got a cinema and it's got like lots of different shops, like the Adidas factory store. And then they've got 2 places for haircuts as well. So two or three. So they've got like Uppercut, which should be like a main brand, which I'd see around here for guys. Then there's another place I know which is called Beards, and they do haircuts as well. And I don't know, there's a couple places. Again, I guess it's just kind of trial and error. I mean, I haven't had any problems yet. I mean, the first time when you're sitting down in the chair and you're like, how do I ask for a haircut in Spanish? That is interesting. But I'm not sure. It's cheaper than Ireland anyway for a haircut. And then I think most things would be cheaper here than what I pay in Ireland, nearly like half the price. So I don't know. But yeah, Bolivares is where I would have gone for it.
Okay. Is there a doctor on campus? Yes, we have a doctor at Building 9, that is also the building where the gym is. And he is here like from 7 a.m. to
6 p.m. or something like that?
Yeah, more or less.
Roughly.
And he can help you with anything, or like take care right after an accident or anything if you need to be taken to a hospital. And we hope please don't. And what else?
If your intention is to, it's kind of expensive, so I'd kind of advise against it.
Yeah. For the doctor on campus, you don't have to pay anything. It's a service we have here for all international, and a headache or anything. If you don't have any pills with you can get them from there, and they will ask for your ID number and just like what do you need if you're allergic to anything.
But then also, if you do have like an emergency where you do end up in hospital or something like that, We do have an emergency line where we can try and help out, but it'd be for like real emergencies where you're going to the hospital, or if something serious has happened, like you're in a car crash or something like that. So that you can call us and we can try and support you through that a little bit, like at the IPO. And basically we have the emergency phone lines where you can call us like any point, like
24/7.
24/7 basically. So one of us has the phone at all points.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know, again, while the doctor on campus is free, the hospitals around are not, and they are pretty expensive. So I would try and avoid going there if I could, you know.
Is it safe to walk around during night as a girl? Would you like to say anything? As a boy.
As a boy, I'm going to talk about as being as a girl. Well, from my experience, yes and no. I would say that it is safe to walk around at night, but at the same time, I would say that if you could avoid it, it's probably safer, because you're kind of just like setting yourself up for something to happen more than, it's like any big city. I mean, I think that you're more likely to get robbed at night than you are going to be during the day. I think walking around during the day, it's definitely safe, but at night I would definitely take more precautions. And if I was, I'd go in a group, or if I'd go in a taxi if I could, or, you know, something like that. It's not very expensive to take a taxi here, so I would definitely advise it. And yeah,
like it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. Like at night, it's like, I think in many cities not that safe to walk alone, so it's really useful to always go with someone else.
Anyway, I think we've kind of hit our time there, so unfortunately we're gonna have to say goodbye to you guys, but
see you soon, and be ready for Mexico, because it's gonna be an amazing experience.
Lots of traveling.
Yeah.
So
Bye guys.
Bye guys.